Friendship, what to know. Where to watch. Friendship is A24's latest dark comedy offering that transforms the simple premise of adult male friendship into a brilliantly uncomfortable exploration of desperation, masculinity, and social isolation. Starring Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd, this film represents a successful expansion of Robinson's signature cringe comedy style from sketch format to feature length. Plot and setup: Friendship is the fatal attraction of male bonding comedies, and follows a similar arc. It's about a nebbish named Craig Waterman, Tim Robinson, whose life is on a downward slope. He works at a public relations firm and has a wife named Tammy, Kate Mara, who runs a florist business out of their suburban home. Tammy had cancer a year ago, but it's in remission. They have a teenage son, Stephen, Jack Dylan Grazer, who openly adores his mom but is polite but chilly to his dad. The marriage is falling apart when an errant delivery pulls suburban dad Craig Waterman, Robinson, into the orbit of his mysterious and charismatic new neighbor Austin, played by Paul Rudd. The stage is set for an increasingly unhinged bromance that spirals into obsession. Character dynamics: the anxiety-inducing dark bromance stars Robinson as suburban family man Craig, who quickly develops a man crush on his new neighbor Austin, Rudd, a beloved local weatherman with his own rock band and an eclectic collection of ancient artifacts. But his desperate attempts to impress his new friend lead to increasingly chaotic and destructive behavior. The Netflix cult star plays a geeked-out loser, befriended by weatherman Paul Rudd, in a sketch comedy conceit stretched out to feature length. Robinson's Craig represents every socially awkward adult who struggles to form genuine connections, while Rudd's Austin embodies the effortlessly cool neighbor who becomes the object of Craig's obsession. Critical reception: the film has received overwhelmingly positive reviews from critics. On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 88% of 143 critics' reviews are positive. The website's consensus reads: Tim Robinson expands his exquisitely painful cringe comedy style to feature length with seamless results in Friendship, a toxic bromance that'll make audiences laugh and cringe in equal measure. Tim Robinson expands his exquisitely painful cringe comedy style effectively to feature length format, proving that his unique brand of uncomfortable humor can sustain a full narrative arc. Themes and social commentary: there are a lot of headlines these days about male isolation and friendship recession, detailing the reasons why men seem to be forming fewer deep bonds with other men. Remote work and less participation in church or other community structures have contributed to this phenomenon, and Friendship taps directly into this contemporary social issue. The film serves as both comedy and cultural critique, examining how adult men struggle to form meaningful friendships and the potentially destructive lengths they'll go to in pursuit of connection and acceptance. Filmmaking and style: the filmmaking is more imaginative and subtle than the screenplay. The writing gets repetitive when Craig unmoors himself from common sense and wanders impulsively from situation to situation, making a spectacle of himself and becoming increasingly chaotic. Despite some narrative repetition, the film's visual style and direction manage to maintain engagement throughout. It's a simplistic setup in principle and one that's been a tried and true narrative starter in a multitude of purely comical or more dramedy-centered affairs across the years, but with Robinson in the lead and DeYoung committing to making sure his debut is not a cookie-cutter affair, Friendship manages to feel fresh and distinctive. Cast and performances: the supporting cast includes Kate Mara, Jack Dylan Grazer, who help ground the increasingly surreal comedy in recognizable family dynamics. Kate Mara's Tammy represents the voice of reason, while Jack Dylan Grazer's Stephen provides the perspective of a teenager watching his father's social desperation unfold. Release and availability: Friendship in U.S. theaters May 9, 2025, with the film receiving a wide theatrical release through A24's distribution network. Rent Friendship on Fandango at home, or buy it on Fandango at home for home viewing options. Why it works. Friendship succeeds because it takes Tim Robinson's proven formula of cringe comedy and applies it to a universally relatable situation. The film's exploration of male loneliness and the desperation for connection resonates particularly strongly in our current cultural moment. Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd's new movie is unpredictable, unhinged and hilarious, delivering both genuine laughs and uncomfortable truths about modern masculinity and friendship. Plot: a suburban dad, Tim Robinson, becomes hell-bent on being BFFs with his charismatic new neighbor, Paul Rudd. May sound simple, but the execution transforms this premise into something genuinely surprising and emotionally complex. Friendship represents a successful evolution for Tim Robinson as a performer and showcases A24's continued commitment to original, boundary-pushing comedy. For fans of cringe comedy, explorations of male friendship, or simply well-crafted character studies, this film offers a uniquely uncomfortable yet rewarding viewing experience that lingers long after the credits roll.